to The Real Deal. We're here, as always, at the Clapham Picturehouse to bring you our weekly review show.
And naturally, it's a romance-filled special this week. Coming up on the show, Miles Teller and Analeigh Tipton face the music the morning after.
An ageing gay couple have a hard time adjusting after getting married.
And a musical classic gets a special sing-along re-release just in time for Valentine's Day. Right now, I know what you're thinking, what with it being Valentine's Day weekend and all, what's going on with 50 Shades of Grey. Unfortunately, we can't tell you because there have been no press screenings for the super steamy new release. So instead, what we're going to kick off with is Two Night Stand, which stars Miles Teller and Analeigh Tipton in a tale of love for the Tinder generation. Let's take a look.
Maybe it's time for a one-night stand.
Do you think I'm ready?
Who cares? I'm ready for you to be ready. Get on that dating site, pick a cute guy. No drinks, no dinner, just a hookup. Desperate times call for desperate measures.
So there we have it, a boy and a girl holed up in a house with lots of snow outside and not a sex dungeon in sight. Joining us now is Cassam Looch. What did you think of this, Cassam? Did you enjoy it?
I actually thought, I went in with very low expectations.
Yeah.
Rom-coms are not my thing, especially at Valentine's Day. They tend to rush out all the rubbish that they've been holding back.
Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Rubbish on Valentine's Day? As
Well,
if.
hard to believe, I know, right? But I really like the Miles Teller.
Yeah.
I really like Analeigh Tipton as well. I know you don't, so we'll talk about that in a bit. But the dynamic they had was quite interesting, and it starts off in a really cool way. So you start off with seeing her trying to escape from a one-night stand, and like you say, she's snowed in, and then it becomes a more intense relationship, I guess.
It essentially becomes a two-hander, which is very unusual for a rom-com, I think. Something that you wonder whether or not it's going to be able to hold its pace, but I think it does. And I have to say, we've talked about this before, I'm kind of the key target demographic
You're
for this.
championing this big time. Yeah.
I did really like this film because it was that little bit different, and I do like the two leads in this. There is essentially four people in this film, but the other two are just fillers with Jessica Szohr and the other guy that's in it. It's just something to break up the tension a little bit.
And that was a big problem for me, because they take away from that intense two-person relationship that you see on screen for the majority of the film. Yeah. And cutting away to this kind of throwaway gags and stuff with the other two doesn't really work for me. And if it stayed in that room, in that confine of that one apartment, I thought it would have been a lot better.
Yeah, because while I think it's a flawed film anyway, if it had just been the two-hander, that's a little bit braver. Yeah. But it didn't quite want to commit to it.
It just wouldn't quite go over that line, would it?
I think Miles Teller, I think he's great anyway. He is, I mean, 90% of what's good about this film. The character's very funny, very charming. I found myself watching it and thinking, I'd rather be snowed in with him than her, and we'd just hang out, have a few beers.
That's a big, bold statement for Joe.
Have a few beers and play a bit of ping pong. Like, you know what I mean? It'd be quite a laugh just hanging out with him. So I really, really liked him. There is as well, and you guys know what I'm talking about, one central scene where they're discussing ways to improve in the bedroom. And it's very funny and it rings very true. And if I was on my own, I'd have really laughed. I watched it in female company, and it was excruciating.
It wasn't me.
I think I think that's just about right. But I mean, that's really all I liked about it.
Okay.
Oh, is that all you liked?
That's
really?
it.
I don't mind her. She was obviously in Crazy Stupid Love, and she played the Steve Carell obsessive in that. And I think she's been on. I think she's really interesting. I think there's something
She's good
about
for the
her.
alumni of America's Next Top Model. I can put it that way.
Oh, really? Okay.
Can I just throw something out there about Analeigh Tipton? Okay, if you haven't seen her, sexy Gollum. Discuss.
A little bit harsh.
Oh, no, because I'd like to say I did find her attractive, but she did have elements of Gollum.
Okay, but you obviously need two attractive leads for a rom-com. And actually what works quite well here is that there is something like a guilty pleasure about Miles Teller. He's not your typical like swashbuckling lead guy in it. He plays an everyman in this, which I think gives this whole film a whole realistic level, which makes it a bit more enjoyable because, you know, actually they met online, she turns up after a booty call and it carries on into something that develops into a relationship. That in itself is quite unrealistic, but the way they play it out really, really works. So again, there's more good that outweighs the bad.
Yeah, exactly. And on the Miles Teller being an everyman thing, that kind of works because before they say like Mark Wahlberg is an everyman, it's like he's not. He's an underwear model.
Tank.
Who's like got abs on top of abs on top of abs. Miles Teller is an everyman in the best possible way. So yeah, I totally agree with that.
Okay, brilliant. Guys, listen, I think there is some good stuff about this. There's a little bit of bad, but what is the real deal?
Ultimately, I think Miles Teller's by miles the best thing about the film. I did find, not Analeigh Tipton specifically, I found her character quite irritating, and I don't think it committed to what it could have really been.
I thought it was a really enjoyable, different take on a rom-com, maybe something that the girls will enjoy more than the guys. And how about you, Cassam?
I thought there were some great elements in it. I think the relationship between the two of them works, but when it moves away from that, it doesn't work.
Okay, how many stars would you give it?
I give it a 3.
Just about. Go on then. I'll go with the team.
I'll stick with the majority, although I did like it a little bit more. Now, coming up next is the story of George and Ben, a couple who finally get married after years together, and they realise that not only is love strange, but married life is a little bit too. Here's a clip.
We are gathered here today with the purpose of uniting in matrimony George Esteban Garea, Benjamin Arthur Hull.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Your love, your dedication, your commitment to each other are an example to be followed.
Now, joining myself and Cassam is the lovely Aleyha Ahmed. Thank you so much for being here and also for watching Love is Strange. So, let's have a look at what you guys thought of it, because I think I've got a little bit of a differing view.
I really liked it. It's very gentle. It's very soft in terms of the way the action and the plot plays out. But I liked it. I really liked it for what it was, and I really liked the central performances from Alfred Molina and John Lithgow.
Yeah, they were brilliant performances. I'm not going to knock that when I come to say what I think of it. How about you, Aleyha?
Yeah, no, I agree with Cassam. I mean, those two definitely carried the film. It's also not just a love story between them. It's about, you know, the love they have for New York as a city. And their family and friends. So yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it is beautiful in that respect, and the central performances are great. Marissa Tomei as well, I really, really enjoyed in this film. The problem for me was that it was so slow, and it was such a small little snapshot, and you kind of just go, what is going on with this film? Where is it going? What is it doing? And for that, I think it's for a very specific audience, which is where I had the problem with it. I wasn't in the mood to watch this kind of film when I sat down to watch it, which is why I'm slightly skewed in my opinion of it. But I appreciate it for what it is.
I actually think there's a wider audience for it than the one that you're saying, because it's not just about the couple as a two. It's also about the problems that they face, and it's not just the couple problems that a gay couple would face, for example. It's also they face a lot of bureaucracy when they want to move places, and when they want to get married, as we say. They face the problem of fitting in with their families. All of these are kind of universal themes, which I thought kind of expanded it to a wider audience.
Yeah, and there's an element of growing pains as well for Marissa Tomei's son in this film, and his sort of awakening and how he's growing up into a teenage boy and all that kind of stuff, and how his uncle is essentially stepping in and helping him through that. Some of that is very interesting, and there's a lot of intricacies in this film. There's a lot of conversations that go on and stuff, but whether or not it's something cinematically that you'd want to go to a cinema and watch, I'm not so sure. It probably for me is something that maybe I'd catch on home entertainment and you know, sit at home and try and catch it, but I don't know if I would want to go to the cinema and see it. There's nothing that really drew me in that respect, but prove me wrong.
Well, I don't know about that. For me, I think that New York just looked so incredible in it that it is a very cinematic film in my opinion. So I think that if you do go to the cinema, you're not going to end up feeling that you're not watching something cinematic, and that you could watch it at home. I think if you are, you know, there in the cinema watching it, you're not going to feel like it was a journey that wasn't,
Okay, and is there anything that you guys actually didn't like about it? Because you both seem to be more pro than cons on this, so... Yeah,
I mean, the pacing sometimes does drift. So, like you mentioned, there are some slow bits, and, you know, as someone who liked the film, even I have to say there are some bits where you're kind of looking at your watch and so on. But no, overall I thought everything works in terms of the performances, the way the story flowed, and you never really know where it's going, and the end comes as something of a surprise as well.
But I think that's the most frustrating thing for me, is that I quite like to know where something's going, and then maybe I'll be surprised through a big twist about it changing tack. But for this, it just kind of plodded along at a bit of a snail's pace for me. But that is, you know, one of many different opinions, which is why film is so great. So guys, I'm going to step out of it for this one. What is the real deal on Love is Strange?
Well, I think it's a very fun and charming story about these two people who are very much in love, and it's something I think everyone can enjoy.
Yeah, I agree. It's very well acted. It's not just about romantic love, it's love and how it can be troubling and difficult, and with family, friends, and also the central relationship. It's a great film.
Brilliant. And star rating, guys?
I think we're both on the same, aren't we?
4 out of 5.
4 out of 5.
stars.
Oh, okay, that is a very high recommendation for us. And obviously, you guys see it in so much more of a heartwarming light than I did. Anyway, moving swiftly on. Next up, we see the re-release of a classic musical that will guarantee to keep you dancing on the edge of your seat. Here's a clip.
More song, more dance, more of everything that makes a great musical unforgettable. John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John together for the first time in Grease.
So just when I thought my life was finally complete, they've released a sing-along version of Grease.
And it is complete. You must love it.
Yeah, it's great. I loved the original, so now I can sing along too. Right, guys, so seriously, what do we think?
What's the difference between this version and the other version then? Like a sing-along
subtitles.
Version, but this is a sing-along version.
Yeah.
So you sang along with the original. You sang along with the original. I know you did.
I like Beauty School Dropout. I'm not a huge fan of musicals anyway, I must say. And having a sing-along by definition with the words on the screen, that's got to be for fans.
Listen,
anyway.
This is the most accessible musical out there. Everyone, their man, woman and child knows the words to Grease. To have a sing-along, something different. We did it with Mamma Mia, okay, and there was a really successful sing-along Mamma Mia. I think this is the other film that you can really do this with, and I think it works. And it is a complete gimmick and a complete novelty around this time because, let's face it, there's not a huge amount out around Valentine's Day, and it works. And it's the ultimate love story between, you know, Sandy and Danny, and I think it's a load of fun. You've got to take it on the chin for what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know the story of Grease, so if you're fully on board with that, I'm sure you will enjoy it. I mean, yeah, it is fun as a sing-along. Modern musicals are quite different in kind of tone. So Pitch Perfect, and we were talking about Jersey Boys as well. They're very different to these sort of classic sing-alongs.
But there's a reason why it's a classic, and there's a reason why it stands the test of time, is because it is genuinely good. It has stuff that allows all of us to kind of enjoy it as a film, enjoy it as a musical, enjoy it as just the songs, apart from you, Joe. And
I just don't, I'm not really a big fan of musicals. The only one that I like is Jersey Boys, the stage show, and because that has A, music from a group that I really like, and B, elements of organised crime. So it's like a singing gangster film.
It's that niche mob musical market that is undercatered
Goodfellas. So, yeah, but that's just me.
But listen, I think, you know, this is not really we're not gonna dwell too long on this because it's the real deal really is this isn't gonna play to a huge crowd. But those who enjoy a good sing-along, this is something that will be really fun to go to this weekend. You know, maybe you're wanting to go with a group of friends, or maybe you are that type of couple that just loves to go to a musical together and can't afford to go to the West End. So why not bring it to you in your local cinema?
That's a real test of a relationship. You can go as a couple to that, stand the person next to you singing along, and still be together at the end of it.
Well, okay, on that note, I'm not even going to ask you, Joe, what you think, but Cassam, star rating on Grease?
Can't go wrong with Grease. It is a classic. 5 stars.
5 stars. I'm with you. Grease is the word. So that's it for this week's show. Huge thanks to Cassam Looch and also to Aleyha Ahmed for all of their views.
But we want to know what you think, so please do let us know at The Real Film Show on Twitter. And of course, if you'd like more film news, reviews and general fun, do check out The Real Deal on film.com.
Thanks for watching.